there everybody, it's Mike DiLisio. Today I'm going to be showing off my top 10 most anticipated games for 2025. I love making these types of lists, these forward-looking lists, because I am unabashedly a cult of the new gamer. I know that some people don't really want to learn new games all the time and they're happy just playing their favorites, and that's great. But I'm one of those gamers that really loves looking forward. What's coming out next? What's exciting? What is something that is getting me interested in wanting to play the game? Maybe some little hook, some theme, something that really wants to draw me in. And so I do like making these lists. One caveat I want to make is that some of these games are crowdfunded games. That's the nature of board gaming right now. We are in the age of crowdfunding, whether you particularly love that or not. It's a fact. And in crowdfunding games, sometimes they'll say that a project's going to be released in a particular year, and turns out that it's late and it doesn't. There are some games on here that are crowdfunded that are projected to deliver in 2025 and may not. It's happened in previous lists, so just keep that in mind. All right, with all that out of the way, let's get started with number 10. And at number 10, I have a game called Wrath. This is coming from designer Manny Tremblay and publisher Chip Theory Games. Wrath is a game that has a couple of things that are normally red flags for me. Number one being that they're billing it as an area control game that can be played cooperatively or competitively or solo. That's tough to pull off. Oftentimes when it says it can be played both ways, cooperatively and competitively, it's clearly better as one than as the other. But with this designer, the designer of Dice Throne and Radlands, I have some faith that Manny Tremblay is going to be able to pull off a game, and it's a very good looking game with the component quality you'd expect from this publisher, Chip Theory Games. At number 9 is Shallow Sea, and this is coming from Bad Comet Games, which is, I mentioned that at the front end because that's the main reason it's on this list. They're billing it as a multi-layer puzzle game, and there's a lot of puzzle games out there, especially in the last 5 years or so. We've kind of had a glut of puzzle-type games, and I tend to like them, but they're getting harder and harder to stand out from the crowd. Why this one is on the list is because of the other games that this publisher has done. Wondrous Creatures, Life of the Amazonia. I've really liked those games, and they've built a bit of trust with me that they're going to be putting out the type of games that I like generally. So I'm hoping that Shallow Sea pays off and is a really good puzzle type game that stands out from the crowd. We'll see. At number 8, we have Flow, and this is one of those games that you just don't know. Is it actually going to come out this year? This is from Fantasia Games. It's a multi-designer game. Henry Audubon, probably best known still for Parks. Johnny Pack, a designer of fantastic games. And Yoma, part of the Fantasia team, as is Johnny Pack. This is an adventure-style game, and I got to play an early version of it at Dice Tower West this year. And so I have a bit of background. I know what the game is doing, and it's a very ambitious game, but it was still pretty early in development when I played it. But enough of what I played has gotten me excited to see the updated, streamlined version that has maybe come to its full fruition. And so it's a beautiful looking game. I love the world that's created by Andrew Bosley, the artist, and I'm sure the design team as well. Flow is a game that I'm hoping comes out this year, and I'm hoping has reached its fullest potential. At number 7, I have Founders. That's coming from This Way Games. And again, this is much like Shallow Sea from Bad Comet. It's a puzzle type game, but this one looks like there's a little bit more going in. It's tile placement, it's city building, you have some hidden roles, there's legacy elements. But the main reason I'm this excited about it is because it's coming from the team that did Ice, which has been one of my favorite games of the last few years. This looks to be on a much smaller scale than Ice, which was this big, elaborate production with three-dimensional elements. This looks to be much more straightforward, tile placement game, but I'm really interested to see. It's in the same kind of world universe that Ice was in. It has a beautiful look as Ice did, and so it's on my list because it's considered, I believe, a prequel to that game, and I liked Ice so much that I'm immediately drawn into Founders. At number 6, we've got The Sixth Realm, and this is coming from Final Frontier Games, who has done Merchant's Cove, one of my favorite games. It's in my the upper half of my top 100 every year. And also the design team on this one. It's a heavy Euro, okay? It's being billed as a heavy Euro, and it certainly looks like one. But it's coming from the designers Matthew Dunstan, Seth Jaffe, and Drake Villarreal. And I've loved games that all three of those designers have done. And so a heavy Euro set in this same world that all of their games have been, Merchant's Cove and Cavern Tavern, and they've kind of built this whole world. I like that world already. The art from the Micho is fantastic, but a heavy Euro set in that universe. I'm really looking forward to that. At number 5, we've got Brink from IV Studios, and that alone is going to get my interest because I've really enjoyed the games that IV Studios have put out, Moonrakers and just a number of games that they've done that I've liked, Fractured Sky. But this one is a bit heavier, and I know that because I played an early version of this. I believe also at Dice Tower West. And it's got worker placement, trading, hidden voting, some of the things that you might expect if you've played other games from IV Studio, not Tainted Grail. I'm getting it confused. I'll put it in the line below me here. I know the name of the game is escaping me, but it has also that kind of hidden voting, hidden roll type of a thing. And I really enjoyed what I played of this game. It felt pretty much done when I played it, but I'm sure that they've continued work on it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what the finished product is on Brink. And I'm still annoyed that I can't recall the name of that game right off the top of my head. At number 4, Core of Discovery. This is coming from Off the Page Games. This is a publisher that has a particular kind of modus operandi, which is that they will take games, or they will take games that are based upon comic books. They are creating games that are based upon graphic novels or comics. And this is based off of the graphic novel comic series Manifest Destiny. This is a cooperative deduction game. I have played this game quite a few times, never in its finished form, but there's actually playthroughs on this channel. If you want to just kind of search Core of Discovery, you can see me playing it solo, and it's a really, really clever deduction game from designers Jay Cormier and Senfu Lim. Really, really enjoyed this one. I'm looking forward to getting in and getting all of the content because it has different modules and different ways to play the game. Really excited about it. You're going to start to see trends here because the next couple of games are games that I've also played early versions of. At number 3 is Emberleaf, and this is coming from the City of Games and co-designer Frank West, who is probably best known for Isle of Cats, but I've liked most, if not all, of Frank's games, and this is a game that is heavier than any of the other games that I've played from Frank West, except for maybe City of Kings, but this is more of a kind of a Euro-style game. And it's tile placement, you're doing tile placement, but really what it's driven by is this card system that he's called card dancing, which I'm not going to get into a lot of details, but basically what it entails is particular cards that are going to kind of be timing along, and as they kind of exit your tableau, they do certain things, and it leads to some really interesting timing decisions and can lead to some really clever combos depending upon how efficient you are with this card dancing system. I was really taken with it with my one play of an early version of it, and that was at AirCon in the UK. And so I'm very, very excited to see the finished edition of Emberleaf, and I have a pretty good feeling it's going to be great based on the one play. At number 2, and 1 and 2 were really, really kind of dancing back and forth, speaking of dancing. But for the sake of this list, I'm going to go with this as number 2, and this is Sweetlands, coming from publisher Uchibakoya and designer Tatsuka Chuo, which is just that combination right there is going to get you on my attention. It's going to get my attention because I have absolutely loved these collaborations in the past. You're looking at Ostia, for example, and Aqua Garden. Just some fantastic games. Atlas Lost, although that was with a different publisher. Ushibakoya actually was part of that as well. But these are some of my favorite games of the last few years. This designer has been knocking it out of the park. And Sweetlands is another game that I've played an early version of. It is a sweet looking game. It's all about like treats and ice cream and chocolate bunnies and all of this very sweet theme. But beneath it is a super crunchy, heavy Euro game, economic elements, tile placement elements, route building. It's got a lot going on and a lot of clever card play as well. But it's so good. And this designer, I'm telling you, it's just been knocking it out of the park for me. And so I've already played an early version. It felt pretty finalized to me, but I'm sure there'll still be some development going on as the project progresses. But Sweetlands, super excited. And at number 1 is a game that I have not played. And so why is it so high on this list? Well, the number 1 reason is the designer Shem Phillips. And I've loved Shem Phillips' games, both when he's working with co-designers like Sam McDonald in the more heavy trilogy games, you know, the Architects of the West Kingdom Paladins, things along those lines. This is a game that he's designed solo with Arcus Publishing, who he is a part of. And this is a game that is dice drafting and pick up and deliver, and it's a race game. All of those things I love. I love dice drafting, I love pick up and deliver, and I love race games set in this kind of post-apocalyptic Atlantean theme. Really, I love the world that looks to be built here. Everything about this game just like screams a game for me. And so with a designer I love, mechanics I love, in a world and environment that is very, very appealing to me, that's why Storm Raiders is on the top of my most anticipated games of 2025. And bonus, it's supposed to come out very early in 2025, so I think I'm going to have a chance to play this one much sooner than any of the other games on this list. All right, well, there you have it. It's kind of funny to do this list at the tail end of 2024 because there are so many games that I don't know about that are going to be my favorite games of the year that I don't even know exist yet. So as of right now, these are my top 10 games I'm looking forward to, but I am very, very hopeful that 2025 is going to be a great year, much like 2024 was games-wise. All right, that's going to do it for me. This is Mike DiLisio signing off from the Dice Tower Midwest Annex.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games. We do top 10s. We play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.